been a year of some really big achievements that we set out on a really big strategic ambition a couple of years ago. And I think the last 12 months it's all sort of come together with a lot of our detailed planning and strategy work. And it's been really rewarding for the organisation to see plans that we started almost 2-3 years ago really starting to consolidate, and we're seeing new audiences coming to our network. We're seeing our digital platforms growing enormously. And all the culture work that we did within the organisation, where our latest employee survey came back with a really strong high engagement scores. 91% of the organisation said they were really proud to work at SBS. Those sort of things I just take a lot of pride in, and I'm really quite grateful.
Of course, you mentioned digital, and of course digital engagement has been an area of success for SBS this year. It has also perhaps been an area of criticism also in terms of moving away from your charter. Is it possible to satisfy both, to your mind?
I absolutely think it is possible to satisfy both, and that's something that our team look at every single day. And what we try and do is we have a really healthy balance between what our principal function is of multilingual, multicultural content, and our charter talks about that being our principal function. But it's certainly not our only function. And so what's really important for us, and it's a deliberate strategy that we've worked on, is to ensure that we get some broader English-based titles to draw in a broader audience that might not ordinarily come to SBS. And then whilst they're enjoying that content, we'll cross-promote our more charter-inspired content. So that's been a deliberate strategy for us, and it works really well to bring in new audiences for us. But what we've always got to make sure we keep an eye on is that the balance is right. So on SBS On Demand, we have something like 600 movies at the moment, or dramas. It's about a total of 6,000 hours of content. And about 80% of that is content that is in language or multicultural, content in some way, documentaries, etc. And that's really important. So I'm really comfortable with 20% being slightly, more English, broader based, and that's what some people are criticising us for. But if you actually read our charter, it doesn't say we can't do that stuff, and that's a really important part of sharing with Australian audiences the important charter-inspired content that we do.
I also wanted to get your take in terms of the political landscape that we see, and also the role that the government is playing, not only within media representation, but also for Australian business moving forwards.
Obviously the government plays a very big role, particularly in business. I mean, we've seen this year major media reforms which will really help the sector grow. We've got enormous headwinds in our media sector with foreign organisations, whether it be Netflix, Amazon, Facebook is now buying a lot of content, Apple TV is buying a lot of content. So those organisations are possibly going to be big threats to our domestic media market, and we've got to have a strong media market to be able to compete with that. And that's going to be new frontiers for us. All the media networks have got some big challenges to think about good strategic directions and having digital strategies on how we're going to fight that. And I think that's really important, and the government and the regulations of that play a big role in that.